Well, I'm going to start installing suspension, and if anybody has questions, you know what? I'm going to flip this thing around so that I can look at them and tell when there's questions, because I feel like that makes more sense. We'll try that. I mean, I make it the best quality, but I can definitely see when people comment a little bit better now. So I'm just going to start installing suspension. If there's questions for pretty much anything, go for it. I'll just look at it every now and then. There. A few people. That's cool. Must be a boring day. One off. Question. What are you doing to your truck? I recently took the Icon suspension off. I put on TRD Pro suspension with a 1-inch spacer. So it sits a little bit lower than I want it to in the front because of the bumper. So I'm putting on a 1.5-inch spacer instead of just a 1-inch spacer. I'll have to probably make another video about why I got rid of Icon suspension, but it's not anything super exciting. Hope that answers the question. 18 millimeter. Pro tip, always loosen the studs before you get the truck all off the ground and the tire just spins and you can't do it. Also use your parking brake and chock the back tires so it doesn't roll off the back. Roll out of your garage if you're on a slope. And always use jack stands. No matter what. There. Good. I like to put the tire under the vehicle just for extra safety. I'm gonna bring this around here so you guys can see a little better. Let's see. There, so hopefully that's a little bit better view. Not of me, but at least of the inner wheel well. Might go up just a touch. Another question. No question, come back. I've heard reliability issues with Icon lately. Wouldn't necessarily say it's a reliability issue as much as I don't want to pay to have them rebuilt. You can buy an impact driver, it's not that much money. I mean, I'm literally getting rid of my Icons because I don't want to pay to get them rebuilt, so I should tell you how cheap I am. What roof rails do you have and how do they handle rooftop tent? So it's the Rhino Rack system. It's actually a track mounted load bar system, so it requires a whole bunch of holes to be drilled into the track. It's the best, but it really is committing. So don't do it unless you're 100% committed to that exact thing. But it's fantastic for rooftop tents. It makes it so much easier to mount and take them off, like way easier. Much easier than a flat rack. Also, I'm just showing you guys how I do suspension. And I'm not really showing you how to do it. I'm just kind of like doing it with it being live. This is by no way any kind of like approved way to do this by any means. So you don't have to do it this way. Ow. So another question. Good looking rig. Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I enjoy it. It's definitely changed a lot over the years, but can't complain too much. Let's actually go up even higher. Move this up just a touch. Like you guys are also kind of crooked. I don't know, I'm filming this from the front of the camera. It's not that great quality, but at least I can see when you ask questions, right? I feel like that's the most important part. So for what I'm doing right here, hopefully I won't have to actually take the entire shock strut assembly off. I really don't want to, but if I do, yeah, I will. Almost perfect. All right. So I personally like to have a little bit of support and lower control on first. Just a little bit, not a ton. Then first step that I generally go to is taking the tension off of lower control arm brackets. So lower control arm will freely swing. I've already marked on the bolts where they are at the moment, so that when I go to tighten them back up, I can tell how much they've moved or not moved. So that way when I'm driving from where I'm doing this in my garage to my alignment shop tomorrow, it's not unbelievably out of alignment like they can get. It's still somewhat reasonable. But I do this so that when I want to drop the shock assembly, the strut, that the lower control arm is no longer under tension and it freely will swing out of the way. I get them fairly loose. I don't pull them all the way off just yet, but get them fairly loose. All right, second step is there's two lower control arm bolts that go into the assembly. Break those free. That was unnervingly easy, to be honest with you. I think there's some red Loctite on one of these. Nope, definitely not enough. That's very disconcerting. Make sure that is much tighter when we finish this. Swap from the breaker bar to the big boy socket. This is all just an effort for me to try and be slightly more transparent. I bet you there would be less glare if I filmed it from this side, wouldn't there? Let's give it a go. Move a few things out of the way, including the ladder. Let's see if this is any better. Oh yeah. That's way better. All right. Not that far. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm mostly just doing this to try and be somewhat more active. Because anybody that's followed the page for a while knows I just disappear sometimes. So anybody that's followed the page, like I said, for a long time, you've seen a lot of the different things that I've done with this truck, taking it from where it was, which was bone stock back in 2015, to pretty much built about as much as you could circa 2017. And if you've been paying attention recently, you've noticed that it has gone almost all the way back to stock. That's for, it's getting up there in miles. It's got 112,000 miles on it now, which I know is not a lot for a Toyota. It's a lot to be wheeling them pretty hard. So this truck's on its way into retirement, at least until a certain point in its life in which when I have a little bit more funds and can do certain build strategies proper. Question, yay! Bro, it's time for cordless impact. I know. Maybe I have a friend who's a very good friend that is also a master mechanic that can donate one. That would be great. I really appreciate that. How do you like the single stage white paint? It's terrible. It chips and scrapes all over the place. And it's probably one of my biggest gripes. Make it a Fire Academy. I have fully expected impact wrench. I'll buy the air compressor. I shouldn't say Fire Academy. Just get a job with the fire department, man. You're way past that. Fingers crossed. Be a good weekend for all that. Let me get another wrench. All right, so let's loosen these, which is my least favorite part about doing this because it always seems this last one in the back to be a pain in the butt, man. On top of all of that, I put red Loctite on it, which is, if you're not familiar with Loctite, one of the stronger forms of Loctite. And this one seems to have stuck. It's like goo. I saw another question. Sure, why not? Let's see. Another question. Oh, it's just Chris. Hey, guys, my buddy Chris got invited to interview, be a firefighter in Henderson here in Las Vegas. If you see him, or if you know of Chris, tell him congratulations, that's a big deal. Proud of you, man. It's been a lot of work to get to that point. Goodness gracious, that's a pain in the butt. All right. But that one's off, that's good. Yeah, hopefully it gets a little easier from this point. really should have just called this entire live thing just messing around in the garage. I don't think this just fuss too much. There's a lot of Loctite on that one. All right. Let's kind of push this up just a touch. Well, I know that it's not going to come shooting out from underneath me. All right, there we go. We're good. Just so much good Loctite. Definitely was too generous with that. I mean, I don't know if you can see. Look at the inside of that thing. It's all red. It's way too much Loctite. What was I thinking? All right. So next part where we slowly lower this down and out of the way. All right. So it's just kind of floating. There we go. Perfect. Push that back. Give me some space. Bang. We're good. Ah. All right. So this is what we're going to. And let me see if I can pull this thing off. Oh man, I'll have to go down farther. This is what we did have. So it's quite a bit thicker. It's also aluminum instead of polycarbonate. Aluminum spacers, from what I've been told, will actually not like squish that much. So they end up being better off in the long run. A buoy, and we're making money. Let's got 3 of these bad boys, little washers. Let's go ahead and screw it on. Oh man, I have a few. Well, I have a feeling that that's not the real Donald Trump, but if it is, that's kind of neat. Also, John, thanks for watching. All right. For anybody just joining this, we're just kind of dicking around in the garage. Let's keep all conversations on the video unpolitically motivated, please. I would greatly appreciate it. One really good one. going to be too tall to get to that back one. Just out of the way, just a touch more. If you guys are joining this right now, just beware, we're just messing around in the garage, asking questions, answering questions, anything you want to know. Just go for it. I'm just putting spacers on my truck. And yes, feel free to ask me questions about spacers. I don't really care. Nope, still too long. Huh. That seems to be too short. Oh, no, I've got to 14 long. That's unfortunate. 14-inch long, that's all I got. There we go. Sweet. It's all nice and tight. Now to button it all back up. This gets much easier from here. All we gotta do is just kinda, oh man. Put that on the wrong way, guys. Or did I? Maybe the whole shock has to be turned around. Try something else first. I don't want to take the whole thing off. Oh well. No, we'll just take the whole thing off. Well, this just got way more involved. Ugh. Crap. All right. No, I do think it has to be turned around. Oh man, that's unfortunate. I don't want my TRD logo to be sticking out. Let's see if we can't get this one more. Crack-a-lack. To be taken. Maybe just taken off and rotated. No, it can't be, can it? Because it has to be turned this way. Yep. Yes, it does, because it has to be turned around because you can't have them come out the same spot. Alright. Fine. Alright, just means this is going to take a little bit longer. Just means this is going to take longer, that's all. But now you get to see the whole process. Always looking for the positive and the negative. You'll also get to see one of the problems of running an icon setup. It just seems a little bit off. One of the issues that I ran into was that although the icon setup was excellent, it seems that even using proper brackets, the lower mount is just slightly too narrow. So what ends up happening is, if you tighten it tight enough to actually have the bolts be super tight, the entire assembly where you mount the bottom of the shock into the lower control arm actually bends. So it makes it super hard to get the new shock in and old shock out, which you will now see as I'm having difficulty removing the shock from the mount. And this may require a rubber mallet. Yay! I'll have to use a regular mallet. And I really kind of don't want Okay, regular mallet it is. This is not recommended by any automotive professional that I can possibly think of. I don't really recommend it, but when you don't have much of an option, you gotta get shock off. Just don't hit the shock body. This is quite the predicament. This is unfortunate. This was supposed to be an easy day. I go up with this just a touch here. Well, this is unfortunate. Dun. There we go. All this means is it's now going to be that much harder to get it back in. Alright, but it does let us take this out. So this is a TRD Pro coilover. It's basically a Bilstein shock all the way through. It's the equivalent of a 61, the 6000 series, not the 5000 series. which is good. Means it's a little beefier. All right, that's on all the way. It's been rotated, and now it shall go back up into assembly. And it should just pop right in there, just like that. And then all we have to do is put on the little top bolts. There we go. Pop this bad boy on. And now I'm actually going to see if I can't hammer the joint that was bent in open just a little bit more. See if that does anything. Don't think it's gonna do much. Tighten everything down. Tip for this one, I would recommend doing the front two first, as the back one is a little bit hard to get to, and this will allow it to kind of be easier to thread on as I really get into it. There's another question. Is this live now? Yes, it is live now. I just reacted to your question, so you know it's live right now. Live from my garage in Las Vegas. So if you have a question, go for it. We'll be here for a little bit longer. Just a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Here we go. All right, that's not going anywhere. Now, what was that question? There was a question. What are you working on? Pretty tall. Can you come work on mine? Once you are done, my rear shocks are toast. Maybe. But you're paying for the plane ticket. 2, is this live right now? Yes, it is. What are you working on? I am putting spacers on my new TRD Pro shocks because I did not get enough lift in the front. So, there you go. All right, let's get this up and up and up. And we'll set that about there. This needs to go in and back. This is going to be much more difficult because I had to turn the shock around. Now it doesn't want to sit back into the spot. Well, that's disappointing. It's definitely kind of pointing the wrong way. This is a learning experience, guys. Maybe I shouldn't have put this on live. I'm usually much better at this. I think I know what the issue was with that. Maybe that one should have gone in first. That one wasn't in there tight at all. Let's try this. Ba-bang. we'll just flat do this, about this. Yeah guys, this is going to be like a 2-hour video, just me digging around in the garage. La-ti-da-ti-da. This video is going to take a long time to process. Got it. All right. Well, put this bad boy right here. This has been much more than I was hoping it would be, to be honest with you guys. I was hoping for a much easier install. And bang, it's pegged. Now we can tighten this stuff. Have there been questions? How's the wife and dog? Everybody's good. Maya had to go to the vet the other day because, oh, what did she have to go? Oh, she ate an entire pack of sugar-free gum with xylitol, and that's really poisonous to dogs. She ate like 10 times the amount that would have killed her, so we had to take her to the vet. So that happened. But everybody else is good. Freddie, I thought you deleted all your social media. What's up with this? You just bring it back whenever you feel like it. It's probably the best way to do it, to be honest. It's like an a la carte option. Pretty tight. That's plenty tight. And that's good to go. All right, that part's done. Let's Put the bolt back on. Shut the top. Okay. This is getting interesting. Got to reattach the lower control arm bolts yet. No, we're not making contact, just to make sure. This is perplexing. This is a real predicament. Thinking I might need to. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I don't think I've read this happen before. This is quite interesting. All right, well, what I can think of is, let's go ahead and just drop this on jack stands all the way. Sorry, this is nothing interesting, guys. I know it's been like an hour. Oh, look, another question. Kind of sucks because I'm using hand tools in my garage, but the second side will be easier. Much easier, I hope, because I'm not sure I can take it if they're not. Crazy small child laughter. All right. Now I'm going to show you a trick if you forget to break lug nuts loose. And as long as they're torqued to appropriate spec, you can just kind of stuff your foot into there to create traction. Wouldn't recommend using new shoes. $7:38 is late. I've already been at this for over an hour. Hopefully this side takes much less time. Because I know the rear shocks will be a lot easier. I don't want to do much for that. I don't think it's going to suck as mounting a reservoir. I've never mounted a reservoir before. Hopefully it's not too hard. Oh yeah, come on. All right. There's all that. Get all those collected to the side. Oh, come on. All right. Yeah. All right. Round 2. First round took me hour 15. Second round, let's see if I can do it in 30 minutes. I'll be pushing it. Right, just like the other side. just like the other side, the first thing I'm going to do, loosen the lower control arm bolts, just in case you're just now tuning in. There's another hour of content prior to this that you can go watch. First step should be loosening the lower control arm bolts so that when you undo everything, it just slides into place, slides out of place, slides down out of the way, fairly simply. And it's good enough on that side. Again, we've already marked where the bolts were beforehand, so we know where they should be now, or where they should be when we tighten them back up, and we would make it the alignment shot without it being absolutely everywhere. Back 2 3/4 or 19 millimeter, however you want to do it. And again, I've got to do a better job of tightening these things, because not like loose, but definitely not as tight as I feel like they should be. All right, bolts out, that's step 2. And it's 21 millimeter. Oh, maybe it's not. It's 22 millimeter, because the 19's there. Clip this bad boy into place. Let's get this bottom bolt out of the way. get the hammer. Oh God, what's the matter? Yeah, bang. All right. Let's knock out these top bolts. There's that one. To an extent, yes. All right, guys, this is like an hour and a half into it. I'm basically done for the most part. It's gonna be the same thing on this side it was the other side. So I'll let you guys go. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for watching if you did.